Pokemon often have some pretty strange names that are difficult to pronounce, and you have to wonder sometimes how that name came to be. Some of them have obvious origins, like Haunter or Beedrill. Those are pretty easy to guess. But a lot of them just feel like the creators mashed their face on the keyboard and went with whatever came up. Like Schniglevishnemig. Turns out every Pokemon's name has some sort of reason to it, and I found 11 Pokemon that I thought were really interesting or funny with their name origins. All this information was gleaned from Pokemon database, so whether or not it's true, go ask them. Number 11 on my list, in order of most interesting or funny, is Mew. Now, Mew's origin is because Mew is a cat sound, and Mew makes cat sounds. So, he's a cat. It's kind of funny to think that all the Pokemon started from a cat. Because, it'd be like, oh, well, why don't all Pokemon hate us? They started from a cat, right? Don't all Pokemon stand on their desks of their owners and they knock all the things off? I would totally do that if I descended from a cat. Number 10 on my list is LGM, which his name apparently comes from the letters L, G, and M. I know, so creative, right? But LGM is supposed to be an acronym that stands for Little Green Man. Like alien. Like LGM. He's an alien. So that was kind of cool, how his name doesn't come from a mashing of words like Galvantula, which is Galvan and Tarantula, but instead a transformation of an acronym. Number 9. Speaking of acronyms, Sawsbuck. I didn't really think it was an acronym until I saw it on the website. And Sawsbuck. The saws part is summer, autumn, winter, spring seasons, because it's a deer that changes in the seasons, or a buck, you could say. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's like, it's a cross between being creative and a cop-out. It's kind of like Sawsbuck. I'm never going to look at that name the same way again. Number 8 on my list is Yanma. Now, Yanma, I was told, is a direct Japanese translation for the word for large dragonfly, which is very appropriate, because Yanma's a large dragonfly. Number 7 on my list is Lucario and Riolu. Now, Lucario is my favorite Pokemon for obvious reasons. We share a wolf likeness. But I also noticed his name was rather interesting. It comes from the word orichalcum, or orichalcum, however you want to say it, which is like an ancient metal, which makes sense because Lucario is a steel type, he came from a metal rod, he's got like that sort of like metal thing going on as a special thing. So it makes sense that his name would come from that, but the thing is they just like changed the syllables around to make Lucario and Riolu, which I thought was really interesting because I never would have pulled Lucario out. And Lucario's not like a bad name. It works, which is the weird bit. Which I can see why they made him like, one of the Pokemon of the region to like advertise to kids. Like,
ooh, look at Lucario, he's so cool. Ooh.
Number 6 is actually a twofer, kind of like Lucario and Riolu was, is Togepi and Togekiss. I didn't do Togetic because it wasn't as interesting. Now, Toga, like Toge, apparently is Japanese for the word spike. And when you look at Togepi and Togekiss, I can kind of see it in Togepi, but they're supposed to be about fairies and love and oh my goodness, we're happy. So, when it comes to Togekiss, and its name means spike and kiss, I just thought it was funny how it's like, maybe there's something more to this Pokemon than meets the eye. Maybe I should be concerned. And Togepi, the P stands for chirp. I believe it's Japanese. So it'd be like spike chirp. Like Flappy Bird mixed with a spike ball.
Watch out, man. Come get you.
Number 5 on my list is Flabebe, which in and of itself is a funny name to say. It's a tiny flower dude. And apparently it comes from flabra, which is Latin for breeze or wind, and bebe, which is French for bebe, as in 3-month-old baby. So, flabebe, going through a couple of languages, translates to breeze baby or wind baby, which is kind of funny and should be the name of my punk rock band. Oh yeah, give it up for wind, baby! Number 4, Musharna, the pink mushroom that has gas issues, because it's just billowing out of its forehead. That's not normal. Musharna is made up of 3 words. Muso, which is Japanese for dream, Musha Musha, which is Japanese for an eating sound, and lunar. I thought it was funny that Musharna is made up of Musha Musha, like nom 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 nom. Number 3, Zubat. Zubat's a pretty common Pokemon. I bet you even if you couldn't name him, you could pick him out as like, oh yeah, that's one of those Pokemon Majoodle Humma thingies. Now, Zubat seems like it'd just be bat, and you're like, what's the zoo part? But it turns out Zubat comes from the Japanese word Zubato, which is a sound for something being hit, which I think is hysterical, because Zubat don't have no eyes. Meaning, every time he flies around, he's like, Zubato, Zubato. Like that. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I think it's kind of funny that Zubat is pretty much just Japanese for wham! Number 2 on my list is everybody's favorite Pikachu. Yes, and Raichu, because he kind of fits in the same thing. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Pikachu comes from Pika Pika and Chu. Pika Pika is Japanese for a sparkling sound, which is already pretty funny, and Chu is Japanese for squeak. So Pikachu translates to sparkle squeak. Think about that next time you do a thunderbolt on your opponent. And Raichu's pretty similar. Rai is Japanese for thunder, so Raichu is Thunder Squeak, which sounds like a pro wrestler name, which is going to be my pro wrestler name if I ever get into it. And here he comes, entering the ring, it's Thunder Squeak! With my finishing move, Volt Flex. You can feel the electricity. And finally, number 1, Tapu Koko. Now already it sounds like Tapu Koko Puffs, and I believe that's already a meme. But what I realized when I researched it is that Tapu is Hawaiian for like holy, and Koko is Hawaiian for the sound a rooster makes. So Tapu Koko is Hawaiian for holy. And it sounds like a self-censor. It just sounds like holy rooster sound. What was that? Like, he does look like a holy rooster, which is kind of funny. These Pokemon names is brilliant. But that is all that I found for the Pokemon name origins that were funning or interesting. But those were the Pokemon names I found that were funny or interesting and had cool origins. The other ones were kind of basic. I mean, you get Camerupt, and it's just Camel Erupt. It's a camel volcano. Squishy, squishy. You mix the two things, and boom, out there's a Pokemon. So, like, if you took me and ice cream, you do, like, Froyo ice cream. Oh, you just call me Frozo, right? Frozen Froyo, and I'd be like an ice cream wolf dude. Bam, now I'm a Pokemon. Somebody draw that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye! Oh yeah.